Our next guest is a best-selling author of more than 5 dozen nonfiction books. Welcome, Roland Lazenby. I remember the first book of yours that I read was Blood on the Horn. I was fascinated by the level of access and detail you got. How do you go about getting that kind of access?
I'd been working with that team 4.5, 5 years by then. I'd done a series of books. They were typical basketball books. I was hired by the Chicago Tribune book division, but really got to know people. First of all, I got to know Tex Winter, and he became a very good friend. And I really wanted to learn the triangle, so I was coaching youth basketball, and I could get him on the phone anytime I wanted, simply because I was just running the triangle and teaching it to kids, and I found it easy. And Tex loved that, and we just hit it off really well. But I also got to know a lot of other people, and as things got more complicated, and actually from the very first interview I was supposed to do with Phil Jackson, he was going to give me 5 minutes. I really prepared and asked a really good question, and he sort of jumped at it like a big old fat bass hits a fly, and I mean, I ended up with 2 hours with him, used every tape in my bag. It was cassette tapes back then. And he revealed, this was in 94, he revealed to me how much he and Jerry Krause had come to a parting of the ways. They literally hated each other. And in the process, Phil told me some lies, but he told me a lot of truthful things. And I just had this knowledge of things. And Tex was sort of loyal to both men.
Hmm.
And so many of the Bulls' problems in that last dance season finally were about Phil and Jerry Krause, and with Tex in the middle trying to sort of hold things together. And of course, in the middle of all that was Michael and his fury with Jerry Krause, because for years, Jerry Krause had sort of stupidly antagonized Michael. And it was just a fight for credit in a lot of ways, but there were other things that factored in, Scottie Pippen's money. And I just couldn't believe that it would end like it did. And I kept going through that season with them.